Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Matthew here with another video that I'd like to share with you. Um, Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of my favorite films of all time, and that is, of course, as you can see, You Want Some, the 2010 cult classic directed by Jerry Wu. Um, so let's just get right into the analysis, I suppose. Obviously, you've got the first frame of the film. Oh, and let me preface this by saying this analysis is obviously going to be very spoiler heavy. So, if you haven't yet seen the film, I highly, I highly recommend that you do so before watching this video. Um, you know, it's a short film. It's just over 3 seconds, I believe. So, just go ahead and watch it and come right back to the video, and hopefully I can shed some light on some of the intricacies. Alright, so now I'm about ready to jump into the analysis. So as many fans have theorized, I personally believe that this film is actually a complex allegory for none other than the American dream. But anyway, before I get ahead of myself, first thing I'm going to be talking about here is the man staring you right in the face right now. The beloved, unnamed protagonist here. Front and center. This is obviously a very Kubrick-esque shot. Brilliant framing here. But anyway, let's talk about what we know about this character. So many fans have dubbed this man the young boy. Obviously, he is a boy. He is very young. He is a boy that is young. He is a boy that is young, but at the same time, he has many features that make him look old. For example, look at the top of his head. Look at the top of his head. Is he not clearly going bald? Is he not going bald? I believe so. Now look at his glasses, his old mannish glasses. Are they not the glasses of an old man worn on a young boy? I would say yes. And then you go down here. You see his crusty attire. Very crusty indeed. What does it mean? Why is this young boy dressed as an old man? Why is he going bald? Well, I'll analyze that later. But for right now, I just want to point out that this is a brilliant color palette here. Look at how the red and the purple of this man's outfit contrasts the grimy yellow background here. Very, very good stylistic choice that I'll analyze in a couple of minutes here. But first, I just want to talk about this background. This dense background. Right in the first shot, there's so much going on in the background. So, again, back to the American dream. I believe that this background represents the entire history of America. So, over here to the right, for instance, we have what is very obviously a slave ship, as many fans have dubbed it, the slave ship on the shelf. That's what they call it. The infamous slave ship on the shelf. So I believe that this represents early America right here. And then it's no coincidence that right in front of it, we have the empty Coca-Cola bottles. And those, of course, represent the consumerist age of America, perhaps early 20th century. So we have very early America, we have later America, and then over here to the left, we see the space poster, the infamous space poster, which I believe represents, of course, the space age and perhaps the future of America. You know, clearly we have Earth, we have the moon. So we have all of America in the background, and in the foreground, the young boy. So what does this mean? I believe that it means that we have a young boy here who is jaded with the American idealism, with the American dream. And I believe that that's going to guide his actions throughout the film, as you will later see. Anyway, enough about this brilliant first shot. Next, we are going to get into the action here, alright? So a lot just happened right there. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put it into 0.25 speed here so that you can properly see what just happened. So here, we see the young boy. He's darting away from where he was standing. He's darting away from America, perhaps. And what does he leave behind? His innocence. The portrait of his innocence, right there on the wall, left behind. Now, if that's clearly evidence that this boy is no longer a boy, that he has become a man, so to speak. You know, he used to have a boyish smile on his face in the first frame, but he leaves in disgust. He looks down at the ground and he leaves in disgust. And what does he leave behind? He leaves behind his innocence. Now, this is just such a powerful shot right here. You know, there's just so much going on, but there's no dialogue. But you know what there is? There is some sound here. You hear clearly the boy chewing. What does that mean? I believe it means that he's been chewed up and spit out by society. You know, there's no way we can know. We don't know this boy. We don't know what he's been through. We don't know who his parents are. We don't know if he has parents. Is he a slave? Did he just get done working on the railroad? We can't know that. But I believe that he's somehow been chewed up and spit out by society, and he's been left here. He's no longer part of this background. You know, he stands out from the background, and he's no longer part of the American dream, I believe. He is no longer a dreamer. Now, take a look at the boy in the photo. Sorry, let me get a better frame of that. The boy in the photo, looking up at the sky, in the clouds. Obviously, this boy is a dreamer. And this boy, who many fans believe to be a younger version of the boy that is young, he is clearly still believing in the American dream, so to speak. But our protagonist? No. He's left that portion of himself behind. But then, something very interesting happens here. We see the cameo from director Jerry Wu himself. And look at him giddily running back to the very place where the young boy was just standing. Look at these double doors that he's just crawled through. He's squeezed out of. Perhaps he's been let free. Perhaps that is a closet, and he's been let out of the closet by the young boy. And now he's giddily running back to America. Now, finally we can talk about the iconic line here. spoken by our protagonist.
You want some? Here you go.
You want some? Here you go. Now, clearly, obviously, the protagonist is talking to none other than us, the audience, when he says these lines. And what does he do? He asks us if we want some. Yes, the audience. He asks the American people if they want some. Now, is he now acting as Uncle Sam? I believe so. Look at his face. Look at the position of his arm. Motioning out towards us. Motioning towards us. But then, in the twist, what does he give us? An empty hand. He does nothing but extend an empty hand towards the audience. So, he promised to give us something. He said, "Here you go." But what does he do? He gives us nothing with the promise of something. And I believe that is what the message Jerry Wu is trying to say about the American dream is. There's just nothing there. It's just an empty hand. It's powerful stuff right there. Alright, another thing I want to point out here about this last shot is the wristwatch that we clearly see on the young boy's arm. What does this wristwatch mean? I believe that the watch means that the boy is aware, so to speak, of time. He is aware of the limited and fragile time that he can spend on this earth. And I believe that this is an optimistic message. I think that we now see that the boy knows that he can't just sit and stand where he was before. He only has so much time. The boy is already an old man in his eyes, and he needs to get out there and do something with his limited time. He can't just be under the illusion of the American dream for his whole life. He can't be a dreamer. He has to be a doer. And I believe that this is a very optimistic message. You know, many people believe that this is not an optimistic film, but I think that this last message here at the end is one of optimism. Look at how he raises his arm proudly into the air, showing the audience the watch, showing us that we only have so much time, and we must make the most of it, so to speak. Alright, so that's actually going to conclude this first video of You Want Some Analysis. I plan to revisit this film, perhaps in a later video, in a more philosophical discussion, but that's basically just my base level analysis of the film. So stay tuned for more analysis, and if you've got any other short films that you would like to see analyzed on this channel, feel free to post them in the comments. And thanks for watching, guys.